This is a Compaq Prosignia Server 720. This is an Insignia TV. That's a real TV.
This is not a real server.
Well, it's finally about time that I got myself a brand new Pentium 2 machine. Only problem, it's a compact desk pro in disguise. See, in our teenage years, we usually went with our little phases and this is who I am and yada yada yada, that's bullshit. Well, this server, or this desk pro, pretty much describes our teenage years. It pretends to be something that it isn't. Now let me explain why. But before I proceed, let's go with the connectors. We have our power connector right here, 2 USB PS2 for the keyboard and mouse, serial port, one parallel port, sorry, 2 serial port, and what is this? My, this is an external SCSI port. Oh wait, you're talking about the video and an Ethernet jack? Ooh! And of course it's gotta be equipped with a Sound Blaster 16 value. Ooh! See, this is what I meant by being a server wannabe. This is just a freaking desk pro with server hardware. Now let me explain. Let's go inside and see why. This one's easy. It came with no screws. Pull it off and we're in. This system is equipped with a Pentium 2 450 MHz and server grade machine would use a Pentium 2 Xeon CPU. However, it was pretty expensive, getting at 3.5 grand pretty easily. So to compensate for that, we would have a dual CPU socket, as in dual Pentium 2. This one doesn't. Hidden way behind that spaghetti splat, we have a RAM. Our RAM slots right here, a total of 3, and two of them are populated with 64 megs non-ECC, which is blasphemy for a server. So you can kind of see where I'm going at. This is pretty much a freaking desk pro motherboard. That's it. That's all it is. With 3 RAM slots, you're not going far. At the top, you'll see even an AGP slot, which is not really common in servers. But, oh my, we have a SCSI hard drive. A SCSI tape piece of shit and an IDE CD drive. Now, this is where everything happens. This card is what makes any desktop a server. This is the card. This is the reason why it's called a Prosignia Server. To me, this sounds like it's a compact desk pro that went into its teenage years and decided to turn into a spoiled brat by having that kind of expansion card. And that expansion card is oddware, by the way, and it is its own multi-IO card. Believe it or not. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and let's find a look how it looks like. Just to notice, this is probably used for the CD drive. One of those 2 pins, anyway, connectors. This is a 4-pin connector that goes straight from the power supply. This is our fan cooling, and this is where our Ultra 320 SCSI gets plugged right here. There you go. The 50-pin SCSI is an extra card down there, which basically is just a typical SCSI card. Who gives a shit? This card is so long, at the right hand side it even has this plastic for the guide. That's pretty damn long. So let's take that beast out. Just gotta be careful with frickin' wiring and shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this card is all you need to claim it's a server. We've got our ultra-wide 320 SCSI right here, 2 fan connectors, our power supply connector right here to give the stupid thing power. We have a built-in ATI 3D Rage graphics with its dedicated memory, an Intel Ethernet controller, an LSI chip for the SCSI card, its own CMOS battery, believe it or not, and its own BIOS. And you can pretty much save the configuration for a RAID or anything. This is how you turn any machine into a server. Literally. This has got to be the weirdest card I've ever seen, and the coolest card I've ever seen. Underneath this spaghetti splat, we have a floppy and 2 IDE channels, And taking out those two cards will just basically make that Prosignia still think it's a Prosignia, but it's just in fact a Compaq S Pro. That's it. That is all it is. It's just the magic of a 2 SCSI card, 150 pin down there, and this magical card that turns the thing into a server. Well, let me throw this bag of tricks all together, and we're gonna go ahead and fire it up. Oh, I almost forgot about the looks. This is also different. And I forgot also about the hard drive, which is a Compaq 9.1 gigabyte hard drive, SCSI. This is our 3.5-inch floppy. This is our CD-ROM drive, and this thing is a tape drive that's freaking stiff as shit. It actually uses this thing as a needle, and it kind of moves everything. I don't know, it's kind of finicky. It's a pain in the ass. It feels tight. I feel like it's gonna break anytime soon. And I don't have such media to put that in there, so I don't even know if it works. Okay, so this is basically how we're getting into our little boot. A little diagnostic from Compaq that they used to do. And it's going to go all the way up to 128 megs. We go in the BIOS setup. The hard drive has not started just yet. B. Gee whiz. I'm just complaining about everything. Everything's not set. That both batteries are dead. I wonder why. Hard drives are going to come up. There's only one really. And there we go. Feels like this hard drive ain't too healthy, to be quite frank. But there you go. 2 options to set up, and there you go. Feels a lot like an IBM again. Compaq, how long are you gonna actually copycat IBM? This is ridiculous. You can save the date and time, everything. Diskette drive, removable. IDE devices, which basically has only one because there's no IDE drives in there because, well, the server magic card, I'll call it like that, is there to do that job. And of course you have the options of everything. You know, the same shenanigans. System ID, you can add an asset tag if you want. Oh. Okay. Device security if you want. Power energy saver, which you friggin' do. Set penny to what do you expect? Power on self-test, quick boot, and post messages enabled. Pretty much what you get. Onboard devices. PCI devices will freeze the BIOS for some reason. Let's see if it fixes it. That's what we got. And you can see here, I can't accept. This is stupid. But you see the SCSI controller, the IDE controller from Intel, and the USB controller from Intel is on board. The Compaq SCSI controller is from the card itself. The Compaq Ethernet controller is on the card itself. The ATI VGA controller is on the card itself. And Compaq Other System Peripheral is for the stupid tape drive. Beautiful. Well, let's get out of post and see if it's got an operating system or not. Never checked. No. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm lucky. Oh well. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off and just listen to that hard drive. Feels like it starts slowing down on its own, and it basically just applies some brakes or something. Oh well. So there we have it. This is the Compaq Prosignia Server 720, which is basically a Desk Pro plus the magic server card. I love to call it like that. Well, you can get yourself a Desk Pro for a lot more cheaper, or you can spend an extra grand and get that thing upgraded to a server thanks to that all-in-one I/O card. Well, just goes to show sometimes when you think like a multi-I/O card is gone, you get this. That's actually the first time I'm actually seeing a card like that. So it is unique, and even though Compaq makes some really screwed up choices back in the days, and they literally do copycats like a model I'm looking at now, they've been reliable. So I have to say, I've never had anything to say against that, but this is pulling a cheap shot. I'm sorry, you're pulling a cheap shot. Making a server requires at least a Xeon CPU, but back then, like I said, it was extremely expensive, and those were reserved for the high-end machines that were like well over 10 to 12 grand. Number two, though, is something that should have existed on that machine, because 90 to 100% of SDRAM equipped motherboards can take ECC. That's right. I can take literally, let's say my regular Pentium 2 there I do for test drive and slap me these ECC. Good to go. No, not this one. That's too much. But they did at least offer us a 9.1 gigabyte SCSI drive, but by that time you could have had an 8 to 10 gig hard drive. That's an IDE, and even though you sacrifice a bit of the speed, yeah, you still get more or less the same reliability. More or less. I'll have to say though that the SLR drive is kind of a unique thing. I don't have an SLR tape because I'm pretty sure it's a tape drive, and I never think I'll ever find one. But it's good to keep. You never know. You never ever know. But in the bottom line though, it's a desk pro. It's just a desk pro. You're just giving it server gear and calling it a server. That is cheap shotting. You know, if you wanted to have at least a server grade motherboard, you could have. You could have had that card integrated in your freaking board. You know, just get everything. They used to do that before. They used to do that long ago. And by that time that specific machine came out, I'm pretty sure a couple boards actually did that even before, and with two dual slot 1 CPUs. So I don't know what to think. I don't know if this fits into the category of entry grade server. Does it fit into workstation server? Does it fit into real life server? Well, to be quite frank, it definitely doesn't fit in real life server. Anything that has server in the name shouldn't even exist. It could be used as a workstation or very small, or like a home server. I could see that happening with the gear it has. But I wouldn't see it in use anywhere else. I'm not even sure what kind of Windows operating system, let alone if it had any, was pre-installed with that. I'm pretty sure it would be Windows NT 4. I swear, if I see Windows, if it ever shipped with Windows 98, seriously, no. That would be even more insulting than ever before. Oh well. So if you got any questions, comments, anything I've overlooked or not looked at that joke of a machine, please let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, take care.